Hello and welcome back to Speed Demon Painting. Today we are taking a look at the March releases coming from Warcradle Studios for Dystopian Wars. As always, these will go on pre-order now and will then be sent out at the end of March. There are 3 boxes coming out this month. The first is the big one, the Destiny Battlefleet set for the Union, which is their big sky fortress, but we also have the Sultanate getting some reinforcements with their aerial squadrons, having those sprues now available separately, I should say, and then the merchant convoys, which are the civilian vehicles that you can use in some of the missions that are coming up later this year as well. Now, the big release this month is the Destiny Battlefleet set, and this is what you get in it. You get the big flagship, the Destiny class, of course the Sky Fortress for the Union, which seems to be made up of 4 sprues of the aerial squadrons pretty much, and that then has these resin parts connecting them in between, along with a large slab of decking, so you can actually launch SRS tokens on it. You don't just get 4 sprues needed to build the flagship though, you also get 4 separate sprues, so you can have some more sky balloons, and they recently have gotten quite a significant upgrade as well in the Orbat, so yeah, it's really a strong entry to take. You also get more of these Bogota carryalls than you can probably use in a game ever, but you know, they're on the sprues anyway, so they're in here, and also all of the SRS tokens that you'll ever need. There's no word yet on what the SRS capacity would be for this Destiny flagship, but maybe you can just use every SRS token as a single 1 stack if you really want to make that impression on your opponent. If we then take a close-up look at the Destiny class itself, it seems to be using the front end of the Republic Cloudraker ship, which is the one that has 2 dual magnetic Gatling guns installed in it normally. So it stands to reason that you will be getting 4 dual magnetic Gatling guns in that one, which is quite a bit of short-range firepower in and of itself. And then on top of that you get 2 aerial torpedo salvos, if I'm not mistaken, that go along with that one. So this is me hazarding a guess at what the armament of this Destiny class will be. That may stand a bit at odds with the SRS launching capacity, where you want to sort of stay at a distance, but it is not the first time that we've seen these Sky Fortresses having these short-range weapons along with SRS capability, where you're really meant to sort of go into the thick of the fight with them to get the most out of them, so it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case for this one too. In addition, we also have a few other noteworthy elements, such as extra broadsides being mounted on top of it. I'm not quite sure if this is going to stack with the broadsides that can be found on the sides here, because those are heavy broadsides now in-game, so yeah, I expect this to be a lot of pain if you find yourself up close on the wrong side of this vehicle, because that's a lot of firepower to be unleashed there. And in addition, the thing that has me wondering is there is this small little radar dish, so it's probably a hydrophone relay to sort of spot obscured targets, and this reminds me a lot of the launch platforms for those Acron sentries, so this might also function as some sort of launch platform, assault platform, which definitely would cement that role if this was a close range brawler with some extra, well, large SRS capabilities, I imagine, because yeah, that is quite a bit of a deck in between the 2 ends. All of that is just pure speculation on my half, though. I mean, we'll see when the rules get released. What is really cool, though, is that you can build 4 extra of these blimps to go along with it. And the first one is one that we know already, the Ticonderoga class, which is made up with all of the different missile pods in the front as well. And then we also get the Constellation class attack airship that has 2 different types of Gatling guns, along with a heavy gun battery in the front there as well. And then the last 2 variants, the first one being the Republic class Cloudraker airship, which is one that can go up into the sky and also arrive from unexpected arrival by sort of deep striking, if you will, on the middle of the board, which is an incredibly mobile element with quite a bit of firepower in it as well. And then a bit of a sleeper hit, if you ask me, on the new Orbat, the Ranger class recon airship that can launch up to 4 SRS, but is actually surprisingly tough, because these balloons really are strong steel constructions, it seems. They've got very high citadel value and a very, very good hull point distribution as well for a carrier ship. And like I said, you will be getting more Bogota carryalls than you will ever need in this box set alone. Normally this one comes equipped with the Anaheim autocannon, the one I've mentioned earlier, and an aerial torpedo pod, which is a small weapon class option, but there are a few other builds that you can make with these, including ones that come equipped with fuel tanks as well, giving you a sort of napalm bombing attack to go over your enemy. But you can also give them a bit more utility through the supply depot rule, or you can give them troop transport payloads, giving them the landing vessel rule. And especially if the landing missions are going to become available, I can see it being quite handy to have more Bogota classes, because then you can really make those big units with lots of landing aircraft to take over enemy land masses as well. Speaking of new types of missions, this is the Merchant Convoy set that is coming out as well. These are civilian vehicles that you will be able to use when those rule packages arrive later in the future. There will be an update coming to the Admiral's handbook, but when exactly that is, I don't know. But if this is being released now, it stands to reason that that update is going to come around in a few weeks' time, and which is roughly, I believe, the time when the first one was released anyway, so that will be the 2024-25 season for Dystopian Wars. And on this sprue you will find a lot of small parts that you can use for those types of missions. The first being these bigger carrier ships. You can actually make larger variants of them by connecting two middle parts together. If you want to see more of those, by the way, I have taken a look at this sprue in an in-depth way in a video I will link in the description below, where you can check that one out. It's from the Fortune and Glory set. In addition to that, you will also get some smaller conveyor ships, like you can see here, also to be used for the sort of escort style missions. But you also get some generic escorts that any faction really can use if you want to boost your flagships, but your faction hasn't quite gotten those tokens yet, then you can use these. I have no idea what these extra tiny little SRS style bases are for the boats, but we'll have to see for these small cargo vessels. There will also be a mission, I presume, where you can get your hands on some cargo, perhaps with these conveyors. It does look like these two will interact with each other, so there's more missions of those types coming along. And you also get 2 generic land tokens for your landing vessels as well, but again, those types of rules will be added in the near future. Now, the big civilian ship was actually quite a favourite of mine. I liked assembling it as well, is the Titan class, which is the medium-sized build that you can get. They are smart enough, these civilians, to not go completely unarmed into the open seas. There is a small gun battery at the front, but they also have a bit of extra defenses through a shield generator, which seems like a smart thing to do. That Titan class, however, can also be equipped with these sort of oil pipes, where you can actually have them as an oil tanker, if I'm not mistaken, but you can also have them as a transporter of cargo. So again, those cargo tokens might play into these as well. They are all called Titan classes, but the differences are quite subtle. And we also have a skimming variant that you can build out of this one. This one was painted up by Daz, which is the Olympia passenger class aerial conveyor. So you can have these as skimmers. I personally like this look the best. It's quite flexible though. You might be able to magnetize them, but if you'd rather not do that and just you know, glue them all together, you can now do so quite easily because they're available separately, which is always a nice thing to see. Daz has also painted up this one, which is the merchant ship, the smallest one of the two. I do like it. This one doesn't have any special cargo on it like the render does, so I'm assuming you can do both, you know, assemble them both ways, whichever way you like. And these are the generic escort tokens. They have these small cute little gun batteries in the front, which I really like. He's also gone and painted up these small ship tokens. Again, not entirely sure what to make of them yet. And these cargo tokens, when it's all painted up, it does seem like container shipping is a thing in the dystopian age as well. So yeah, that's nice to see, and it'll lead to a lot of fun. And then these ground assault detachment tokens are also quite fun, especially because, well, the rulebook already mentions Mass 5 islands being something that you can take over, so I imagine this is more for beach landing missions and all sorts of things. And then continuing the admiration of Daz's lovely paintwork, this is the Sultanate Aerial Squadron, now available separately. The first being the big flagship, the Nasser class skyship, which is the most heavily armed variant. Beautiful color scheme that he's picked for these as well. But you can also build it as the other variant with the 3 small weapons, the Ausbiri class, coming with rocket batteries and the etheric lance here in the front. I do always recommend you get the same weapon if it's an option though, and yeah, you can also get a troop lander, which is the Muharib class, specialized more into assault, where you have this little assault bay at the top as well, and then like the little minaret thing, it has the top there as well. So those are your build options for Mass 2 ships, and it comes with a bunch of Mass 1 ships as well. You only get 1 of each type, so this might be a reason why you want to get a few extra sprues, not just to build the Mass 2s, but to flesh out all of those different Mass 1s. If you thought that the big box that was released last month was a bit much in one go, and you just want to have a smaller expansion, you can now do so through these squadrons. And there we have it, the new releases coming in at the end of March. Now, if you are looking forward to it, I have gotten my hands on quite a few of the different releases from last month. They have finally come to my doorstep. The first being the Cheyenne Battlefleet set, of which I'm making the review right now. Definitely stay tuned to the channel, and if you like this video, give this one a thumbs up, and if you're looking forward to more of this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel for when that time comes. The Cheyenne video, I'll be doing 2 separate pieces on it. First of all, the general review of what's in the box with an assembly guide, and then I also plan to do a very specific paint guide video on how to do 2-tone glass on these things, which is something that always looks quite funky, and something that I've been using on my Battletech mechs as well, and I've been getting a lot of questions on how to do that, so definitely check that video out when it comes out. On top of that, I also picked up the Indian frontline sprues that have come in via Warcradle. So I plan to do a review on what you can build out of those as well, sort of have an attachment of the gameplay rules to that one too. And I forked over some of my own money to get the Maximilian as well, because, well, I'm an Imperium player at heart, so I could not let that release pass up. And yeah, I'll be assembling that one as well on a product review. If you want to see those videos, I hope to see you there. Until next time, bye!